it's Mrs. Cook here. We are going to be starting today a fun project so I can get to know you and we can kind of get to know each other, but we're still going to be creating art. So we're going to be making personality swirl drawings. So what we're going to be doing is taking our square piece of paper, and the first thing we're going to do is mark the center of our paper. Now, if you want to, you can measure this with a ruler. Your paper is 9 by 9 to help you figure out how to find the middle. I'm just going to look at it and kind of measure where the middle is. It doesn't really have to be exact. You just want to find about the middle of your paper. Then what you're going to do is start by creating curves that go from your center dot all the way to the corner of your paper. So if I start right here, this is what it would look like. So what I wanted to do is start at my dot and curve and end at the corner of my paper, something like that. So then what I'm going to do is go down to the other side at the bottom and draw a curve the exact same way, making sure it's going in the same direction. So this way my swirl curves that way. So I'm going to do the same thing, have them go in the same direction down to that bottom corner. Then I will rotate my paper around so I can see this a little bit better. Do the same thing, start at my center, draw a curve that meets in the corner. Do the same thing for that last corner, draw a curve from the center to the corner. So it's already starting to swirl together. So what we want to do is create 8 sections. Right now we have 4. So what we're going to do is just take each of these sections and then just divide them in half with more of those curved lines. So I'll start over here on this side. I'll start in the middle and follow the same curve, try to break it up as even as I can. So I'll do that in between each of my 4 sections. So right from the center to the edge of my paper, here, and then last over here. All right, so I have it divided up in 8 sections. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then what I'm going to be doing is designing something in each of these 8 sections. So because these are personality swirls, what you're going to be doing is first choosing a section where you design your name. So what I will do is maybe just pick this section right here, and in between this little area, I am going to write my name inside of it. So this is your opportunity to be creative. If you want to design your name in a fancy type of font, if you want block letters, cursive letters, anything like that, you are welcome to do so. There will also be examples of this project that I will include on Google Classroom so that you can look for some ideas and inspiration as well. So I'm going to just do my last name and I'm going to design it right in here. So I guess you could use your first or last name. I'll let you guys choose for preference. So I'm going to do some block letters and draw in my first and last name. And what I'm actually doing is filling the entire space, top to bottom, of this curved swirl section that I have so that it completely fills in that area as best as I can. And then I'll fit my E, maybe just a little bit smaller right in here. So I definitely want it to at least go along that bottom edge and try as much as I can to fit that top edge too. So there is my name designed. Then what you're going to do is skip this next section and go every other one, and you have 3 more sections that you're going to be filling in with personality traits. So on the PowerPoint slides on Google Classroom where the project is explained, I included a list of personality traits that you can include on here. So these could be things like kind, smart, funny, or witty, things like that. Or you can also choose words that identify you somehow. So one of my words is going to be artist that I will include on here. If you are in the band, maybe you choose the word musician, something like that. So that's where you will fill in those 3 personality traits in the other 3 sections that you have. So what this means is I will start here with my name, I'll skip this section, and then I will go to this one right here. So I'm leaving a blank section in between. So this is where I can fill in the word artist. Maybe this time I use cursive writing. Try to make it as big as I can and fill up as much as that space as possible, but I'm still keeping it along this bottom line so that it keeps it kind of centered in there. All right, so then again, I'll skip this section, leave a blank, and I'll go to this one. All right, and then I'll do this again. Skip this next section, swirl it around, and then this is where my last word will go. So right now I have my name, and then in every other section I have my 3 personality traits that I can use to describe myself. So now when I look at my personality swirl drawing, I have these 4 blank sections. So what I'm going to do for this is put a pattern design in each one of these sections with objects that have something to do with me. Now these objects can be part of your words or be related to your words, or they can be something totally different. So what I'm going to actually do to represent my word artist in this blank section right here, I'm going to draw in paint palettes because it's something that has to do with something about me, and it can be related to my word artist too. So what I'll do is just fill in a pattern with those paint palettes and fill up the whole entire section here with my paint palettes. Maybe I'll add some paintbrushes too to my design. That's something I can decide later on. So it's something just like that. So I have this complete space filled in, and I have the objects drawn in that I want to include that represents me. So then I'll just go ahead and do the same thing in the other 3 sections. So you just want to think about symbols or objects that have something to do with you. Again, they don't have to be related to the words that you included, but they can. So if you have reader as one of your words, maybe in one of your blank sections you can draw books, or a symbol of a book you like Harry Potter or Hunger Games or something like that. But you just want to make sure you have these other 3 sections filled in with a pattern of objects that have something to do with you that represents you. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of my 3 sections here. So next step that you would want to do after you have all of your designs and your patterns and your words drawn in pencil is you want to go and outline everything in Sharpie. So this includes the swirl lines that you made, all of the outlines for your words, and all the outlines for the patterns of your objects. So everything should be in Sharpie. What I'm going to do right now is just go ahead and erase the pencil because I have some pencil showing through. So that's a good thing for you to do before you move on to the next step, which would be color. So for color, I am going to let everyone choose between whether you would like to use markers, color pencils, or maybe even a combination of both. On mine, I'll just be using color pencil, but again, you can completely choose which supply you want to use depending on what you prefer to color with. But what you will be doing is coloring the whole entire drawing. So this includes the objects and the background spaces around your objects and words too. So this entire thing in color. So I'm going to color just one section to show you guys what I am going to be looking for in terms of your neatness and how you're going to color this as well. All right, so this is my completed section, and as you guys can see, I have my letters colored in and the background. So when you go to do the sections where you have your objects, it'll be the exact same thing. So I'll color these paw prints in and then have a background color for that as well. Now, in terms of neatness, since this is our first art project, it's important for us to talk about that. So if you noticed in the clip just now, I made sure I colored in the same direction, and with something like colored pencils, that's really important so you don't have a bunch of streaks and messy marks all over your paper. So coloring in the same direction helps with colored pencil and also with marker too. I made sure I was really careful not to color outside of my Sharpie outlines and kind of keep my colors in those sections. So I'm looking and hoping that you guys can be as neat as possible on these drawings. So if you want to look at more examples, again, I have the PowerPoints or the Google Slides posted on Google Classroom. You could look for some inspiration. Otherwise, the last part is for just you to go in and color in all of your 8 sections and have it completely finished. I can't wait to see what you guys finish with your drawings and to see all of your work, and I'll see you guys later.